Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast, where we bring a unique insight and analysis for your favorite sports at the high school, collegiate, and professional levels. I am your host, Chase Yantz. Brady is not here tonight. He's got a lot of schoolwork to do. So does this guy who's on camera, but he is with us, Jake Shaver. Jake, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing, Chase?
Doing just fine, man. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, I think we were going to do one last week, and, just some technical difficulties came up, but it's good to be back and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yep, tonight we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. No NFL talk. Well, I wouldn't say no NFL talk, just a little bit of fantasy talk we'll do toward the middle. But, we missed out on a weekend of conference championships in collegiate football. As everyone saw, the bracket, the college football playoff bracket was released. You had Alabama winning the SEC, the 1 seed, and then Michigan taking the Big Ten crown. They are the 2. Georgia lost to Bama, obviously, and they moved down to 3. And the Cincinnati Bearcats, who we talked about a little bit on this show on if they were going to make it in or not, they're in. They are in the dance. Cincinnati playing Alabama. Talk about talk about highs and lows right there. That's going to be a very interesting game preview that we're going to have not too long before that game. But, we're going to review what we saw, starting with Friday, the Friday game last week. Oregon played Utah. This didn't really have any playoff implications on this game. It could have if Oregon wouldn't have lost them the first time. But I'm going to start off with that one. Jake, did you end up watching that game?
Not really. I just kind of checked out the scores here and there and saw they were down by like 20. And then I was like, yeah, this game's over.
Yep. 38-10 was the final there. That was something interesting. And considering Utah's quarterback went 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, and overall it didn't look like Utah really dominated when it came to yards and everything. But the quarterback Anthony Brown for Oregon threw 2 interceptions. They didn't really get a whole lot going down on the ground game and all that. Obviously couldn't get much going through the air, but that's kind of how Oregon's thing kind of played out. And they'll be taking on Oklahoma in the Valero Alamo Bowl on December 29th at 9:15 p.m. We'll talk bowl games probably the next episode and all that when we get Brady back. But here's a game with implications that, turned out to be pretty big. Baylor over Oklahoma State on Saturday in the Big 12 championship game, 21-16. Came down to one of the final plays of the game, actually. And, I was not able to watch any of these games. I'd say the Big 10 championship and the back end of the SEC championship game was all that I caught. But, did you watch any of that of the Oklahoma State game, though?
No, I also didn't catch any of that. But I watched most of the games the rest of the day, like the Cincinnati game and then the SEC championship. I know like he went for the reach at the end of the game. That didn't get it. That's pretty much all I know. But
Yep. But looking at brushing over the stats for that game, Baylor's quarterback right here went 23 for 28. Blake Shapen went 23 for 28, 180 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. And then looking at Oklahoma State, and this took them out of the game, Spencer Sanders went 31 of 46 for 257, no touchdowns to 4 interceptions, and they still only lost by 5 points right there. And it came down to the final play of the game. Think about just a costly turnover here or there, which definitely were a couple of those turnovers. Could be the difference of them playing against Alabama in the in the college football playoff right there. But Baylor was able to hold it down. Their next contest will be in the All-State Sugar Bowl against Ole Miss, New Year's Day, 8:45 p.m. on ESPN. And then Oklahoma State drops to 9. They'll play number 5 Notre Dame in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl on New Year's Day at 1 p.m. on ESPN. And then we'll go to the 2 games that you did get to watch and all that. Looking at first Houston and Cincinnati. Initial thoughts coming from that one.
The game was really close for a long time. But Cincinnati kind of at halftime came out with the determination to make the bowl, to make the CFP, and they just outplayed them in the second half. So that's basically all I can really say about it.
Yeah, but Desmond Ritter was 11 out of 17, 193, three touchdowns through the air. So obviously it seemed like a pretty comfortable day for him. Didn't have to do a whole lot, but made plays when they needed to. And then on the ground, Jerome Ford went 18 carries for 187 yards. Looking at stats on my phone, 18 for 187 and 2 touchdowns for Ford. That was the big determining factor right there. The run game for Cincinnati up front, that was really big. And like you said, it was a very close game. In halftime, it was 14-13. And then in the third quarter, Cincinnati really just broke away. I mean, think about a touchdown to start off, and then you had a touchdown in the next minute and a touchdown a couple minutes later. So you think about 21-point swing in, inside of the first half of the third quarter. So Cincinnati is able to get the job done and really impose their will on their conference against Houston. Speaking of Houston, they will play their next game in the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, Tuesday, December 28th at 12 p.m. On ESPN. They'll play Auburn there. And then we'll talk about Cincinnati and, the college football playoff in a little bit. But that Georgia-Alabama game, that was the highlight right there. That was – I wouldn't say it was a bit of a shocker, just the way that it was a shocker in the way that Alabama beat Georgia, on how they beat Georgia, but it wouldn't have been a surprise either way it went. Initial thoughts from this one?
Nick Saban knows he's obviously a great coach, knows what he needs to win games, just goes out and does it. I think them coming off of a week against Auburn where they almost got their chances stolen from them, they knew they had to do something, and they went out and they proved that they are a top 4 team in the
nation. Looking at similarities, I'm kind of going to tie this to the NFL a little bit. How Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, what those two have in common, they know how to take away your best option and all that stuff. I know I know Georgia's defense was obviously stout and everything, but they let Bryce Young attack in every which way. 26 for 44, 421 yards through the air on that powerful Georgia defense, and 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions. And Jameson Williams went for 7 for 184 and 2 touchdowns. Especially. The Bama defense showed up as well. They let Stetson Bennett throw for 340, 3 touchdowns, but did get 2 big takeaways overall. But, it looked as though Bama, they had an agenda on the offensive side of the ball to attack some holes and, try to beat Georgia over the middle and all that. And they really took advantage of it. And, they stuck with the game plan. And, it was Georgia had the lead at first and all that. And then Alabama was just able to go on a bit of a run going into the first half, and then they were able to take control of this game late. But yeah, that one did catch me a little off guard, the score wise and all that. The result really didn't, because this could have went either way. Both of these teams are powerful SEC schools and stuff like that. We've seen Alabama beat Georgia many times before, so it didn't really surprise me. But the way the outcome did, and the way that Bryce Young was able to, show off his passing ability and even some of his legs, just solidified the Heisman Trophy right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I think we look at the Big Ten championship game, that nightcap with Michigan and Iowa. That was straight trouncing of the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, for sure.
And you look at Michigan, they were able to get it done, and they had a trick play going on. Caden McNamara went 16 for 24, 169, a touchdown, an interception. Blake Corum had 5 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown. So not a whole lot going on with their offense, but honestly, they didn't really need to. They just they were able to get good field position and all that. The defense of Michigan obviously played a huge role in that. Just overall, Michigan's running game was the thing. It was pretty balanced, though, when it came to offense. But yeah, this was just kind of a vanilla game and all that, but Michigan was able to get the job done, and they will see themselves against Georgia on New Year's Eve. And Iowa's next game will be against Kentucky on the Citrus Bowl, 1 p.m. on ABC New Year's Day. Didn't get to really see a whole lot of college football this past weekend. Obviously, had basketball games and all that stuff, but obviously it was an interesting weekend of football, and bowl season will be something to watch for, especially, within the next couple of weeks or so. We'll talk about that on the next episode, but what is I'll kind of give you a little teaser. What's one or two things that you're excited to see in this coming bowl season?
I'm excited to see a non-Power 5 team in the CFP. I think this is very important for every non-Power 5 school, how Cincinnati does. I mean, if they go in and they just get just hammered, it's going to be hard for any other non-Power 5 team to ever get in unless they expand. So I'm excited for that. And then I'm excited to see Ohio State play again. Come back on a little bit of revenge tour and prove that they really are a top 4. I still believe they're a top 4 team in the nation. Michigan played a great game. They've been hot recently. So you got to give props to them where they need it. But yeah, I think seeing Ohio State come out and play really good game against Utah is what I'm excited to see.
Yeah, but obviously you got to give credit where credit is due and all that. Michigan was able to establish the run game against Ohio State, and they played, significant defense when they needed to. I am excited to see Ohio State. I'm excited to see what C.J. Stroud can do in his final showing of the 2021 season. Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigbo. I'm excited to see all those guys, see if they're able to, go out and still be that. I don't have any doubts that they'll still be that they won't be the electric offense that we all know them as and all that, but it'll be fun to see them out there one more time, especially in the Rose Bowl. Don't sell it short at all. I mean, the Rose Bowl, it's one of, overall, obviously you have the playoff and the national championship, but the Rose Bowl is the most iconic bowl game out there. So, going out there on national television, New Year's Day, 5:00 game, that's pretty sweet though. So, be excited to see Ohio State play. And like you said, piggybacking off of Cincinnati, a team in their conference, the UCF, they were the national champions a couple years back, quote unquote national champions, and didn't get that opportunity to get in the college football playoff. And Cincinnati is that pioneer of the non-Power 5 schools that do this. So this is a pretty big game. They're playing Alabama, so they're going to have their hands full for many reasons on the field, and even, in the future for, like you said, any of these teams that want to try to get in and all that stuff. So this is going to be something that the committee is going to be watching very closely to see, did we make the right decision that they are a top 4 team in the nation? So those two things are actually going to be very fun and interesting to watch come New Year's weekend. So that'll be fun
Might
to
have
watch.
To come down to the field for that.
You should actually. Hold on. Yeah, we'll talk about that off camera. But yes, you should. Yes, you definitely should come down to Springfield for that one right there. I'm going to hop over to the NFL real quick. We'll talk about the NFL stuff come Saturday. We'll have an episode Saturday for the people that are listening right now. Looking at our fantasy league in the Cougars 2021 league, Jake did not graduate from KR. Who cares? He's in the league. So we're looking at the 2 divisions right now. In the East Division, we have Tosi is first place at 10-3. Amani is second at 8-5. Actually tied for second with Jordan as well, 8-5. Jake 6-7 right now. You're 4th place in the division and all that. What do you feel? What are your thoughts on your team right now overall? Like, obviously you have Kyler Murray, who he didn't play for a while and stuff like that. So, some injuries, especially of Alvin Kamara as well. But how do you feel about your team's overall performance this year, considering the circumstances?
I'm gonna take the blame on it a little bit because I was sick one weekend and I didn't wake up till it was 1 o'clock, so I just missed setting my lineup for a week.
Is that so?
I lost by like 10 points because of it. So I'm gonna take the blame for that. We should be 7-6 at least.
That's a big difference right there. Jeez.
Yeah, but I think it was against. I don't know who it was against.
Heck, it might have been against me for all I know.
For
the luck I've gotten this year.
No, it wasn't that week. Was it? I barely lost this week. No, it wasn't you because you killed me.
Wait, I remember that was a couple weeks ago. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I did kick your ass a little bit.
I don't even know.
Hold on.
Who did
I play? I'm trying to figure out when I played you though. I keep forgetting.
It wasn't you because I played you in week 12 or something. Week
That's
10.
when it was because I lost to
week
8. Yeah, I lost to Amani week 12.
Yeah, it was week 8. It was against Evan's team.
Yep, I remember beating you week 11. That's when I remember beating you. Baker Mayfield had 9.7 fantasy points, and obviously Alvin Kamara didn't have any points that week. He didn't play.
Yeah.
But you said week 8. You said it was week 8 against Evan.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see this.
I had someone else that I dropped at the time. I dropped because they ended up getting hurt. That I didn't start. Michael Carter. I usually would have, and I didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't play the week before.
What a great day for him to go off! What an awesome day for him to go off. Jeez,
on the bench.
Oh my gosh, I remember that week 8 game like it was yesterday. But yeah, and going through the rest of the league. So you're at 9. Actually, I want to look at your lineup real quick. So. You got Kyler Murray, Alvin Kamara, Devin Singletary hasn't done a whole lot. Tim Patrick, DJ Moore, Evan Ingram, McCole Hardman, Ryan Suckup, and the Packers defense. And then obviously you got Keenan Allen, who's on that COVID list right now, and Damian Harris, who's been very good this season, and the Chiefs defense as well. How about your quarterbacks, your backup quarterbacks? How have you felt about Jimmy Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield's performances respectively this year?
Mid. That's about mid. Yeah, it's been pretty rough on the quarterback side of things. I think I love Baker, but it's I think he's still our guy, but it's to the point where he's hurt, and he's hurting the team more than he's helping the team because he's hurt. And so, yes, I want to see him keep playing. I think he's the guy Cleveland needs. Oh, jeez, my cat. He's the guy Cleveland needs, but it's just, I don't know.
It's a weird situation right now because I've never seen a team that's 6-6, feel like they're so out of it. It just feels like you guys are out of it, but you're not. You guys aren't that far out of it. But
and if you really look at it, though, they've lost a lot of games by a single score.
They have.
They lost the Pittsburgh game 15-10. They lost to the Ravens by 6 last week, right?
Yep, 6. Yep, 6 points.
They lost to the Chiefs by 2, I think, 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who else did they lose to? Chargers by a touchdown. They should have won that game. And then, the only games I would say they got decently handled was definitely the Cardinals game.
And New England.
Handled. Yeah, those are the 2 games that they just weren't the better team that day. But besides that, that's the difference between being 10-2 and 6-6 right now for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Single score.
Just one of those, Baker Mayfield having to battle through 4 or 5 different injuries and all different parts of his body. Talk about shoulder, all of that, knee injury, ankle injury. He's a walking operation game right now, and it's definitely not good for the Cleveland Browns when it comes to that. They have a big opportunity though against the Ravens this week on Sunday, so that would be nice if Baker Mayfield would even get you some fantasy points, but on your bench at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the rest of that, my dad is behind you. I believe he is 6-7 as well. And then Travis is at 4-9. And then Brady, I believe, has been logged out for a minute in my league. So he's 2-11, but we're not gonna we're still gonna punish him. We're still gonna have the league punishment for him. But then my division, I'm running that right now, 11-2 right now. I honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, when I drafted my team, I thought it was like decent. I was like, okay, maybe I might win like 8 or 9 games, slide in one of the spots, but never did I think this would happen right now. Tom Brady at quarterback, you know how he's been as a fantasy
Yeah.
quarterback. He's a good he's obviously, greatest quarterback to do it, but not really well renowned as a fantasy quarterback, and he's ranked number 1 when it comes to NFL.com fantasy football. And then Aaron Jones has been pretty good all year, just been battling injuries. Josh Jacobs has actually woken up. He's 21st ranked running back. Justin Jefferson, the number 2 receiver. Jefferson plays the night against the Steelers. We really, I think everybody needs Pittsburgh tonight in that AFC playoff race. Everyone needs that to happen. And then Deebo Samuel. I wanna give a little bit of an appreciation to Deebo Samuel. Hopefully he does not do anything on Sunday. I don't need that to happen. We play them Sunday, 4:25 in Cincinnati. Do not need him to go off for anything. But number 3 fantasy receiver. All right. He's got 1,000 yards this year. Has missed a week. I believe he is up there in the team leaders in rushing yards. I believe he has done it all this year for the San Francisco 49ers. And this isn't just for my fantasy team. I'm talking about in general as a player. Deebo Samuel has done a really good job. He's I think the last 4 games he has a combined 19 carries for right over 170 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he is doing it in the air and he is doing it on the ground. That was a very lucky. I'm gonna say that was a very lucky pick right there. Noah Fant hasn't been bad. Decent ranked tight end. James Conner has been a surprise this year. Number 10 running back in fantasy football. And then you got Evan McPherson, the number 8 kicker. He just hits a lot of 50-yarders. So that's nice. It's already 5 points right there. And then the Colts defense has finally come alive. So obviously in the start of the season they were not doing crap, but thank the Lord they've done it down the stretch and keep doing it for me, Colts, but not on offense. Jonathan Taylor, you need to chill out so you don't make the playoffs so we can make the playoffs. Thank you. But yes, it's been a little bit of a weird ride in fantasy football. You got Chad right behind me at 7-6, Justin at 7-6, Mike at 6-7. I remember we talked about Michael and his drafting strategies before, how he's a terrible drafter. And he made one really bad pick. I forget which.
It was the Cole Beasley pick.
I'm trying to remember. Did he pick him or did he not?
No, he didn't. I told him to.
Yeah, I haven't even seen what type of numbers that Cole Beasley's had this year.
Neither have I.
But that whole entire draft night was.
He's the 37th ranked wide receiver.
Well,
it was like the 9th round.
I do remember that. And actually, Michael's receivers this year are Devontae Adams and Chris Godwin, who are respectively 5 and 6, and Christian Kirk, who's top 30. So it actually hasn't worked out too bad, but obviously not the amount of wins that he would want. Aiden at 6-7, Evan at 6-7, and Seth at 4-9. Has been a bit of a ride in fantasy. So as this league is ascending, my other league's descending. I think I went from like 5-2 start in one of my leagues to 5-8. I'm like 4-9 in one of the other leagues or whatever. But if I can just if I can win one, I don't care. But how many leagues are you in again?
I'm just in 2, but in the other one I started off the season. Let me look.
Oh, wait a second! I'm in a league that I completely got logged out of. Literally, I drafted auto draft and have not checked my team since. So I believe I am like probably 0-13 right now. So it's whatever.
Yeah, I think I was 4-0 at one time. Lost to the 2 that didn't win a single game, won 2 more, and then lost 6 in a row.
Talk
I'm
about a rough one.
6-7 right now in that league too.
Man, I just lost to Cyrus, and he's in one of my friends Travis's league. He was 0 and I think he was 0 and 12 coming into the game. I was 5 and 7, and I was still fighting for playoff contention because you have to win. It's like divisions. It's like 4 different divisions, and you have to win your division to make it. And I've been on a 5-game losing streak, and I lost to him, who was 0 and 12 coming into that game. I lost him by 10. So basically, I'm tanking in that league for nothing. But yeah, fantasy hasn't really been nice this year, except for one league. So I'm probably gonna stick with 2 next year. Just with 4, you think about it, you have so many guys. You don't want to pick all of those guys on the same team and throughout all 4 leagues, because then if they all have a good week, you'll have a good week. If they all have a bad week, you'll have a bad week. If you have so many guys on one team, odds are you're playing against them in another league and 2 other leagues and stuff like that. So, just the wonders of fantasy football, this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do a little more NFL talk come Saturday. That'll be a nice episode. I think Brady will be on for that. I don't think you'll be on for that one though.
I don't think so.
But we will be back with the whole crew on Tuesday. We're gonna hop right in. We haven't done this yet. We haven't done this. NBA fans out there, this is the time for you guys to get on, because we are going to do a little NBA talk right before Christmas time. Looking at the standings, personally for me, I pay attention to the NBA really once we hit after football season. It's really college basketball, then the NBA after the national championship. But still try to pay attention to it. Jake, as a Cavs fan, I'm going to start off with this. 7 seed right now, 14 and 12. What are your initial thoughts on the Cleveland Cavaliers this year?
Playoff time. That's all I'm going to say. Playoff time.
And you went to a game this year, right?
I did. I'm going to another one in a couple weeks.
Okay. What game did you go to? I keep forgetting. You tell me this.
Suns. It was the Suns game when they were on their win streak, on their 16-game, 17-game win streak.
Yep, I remember my beloved Warriors were a part of that. Were part of that Suns win tally right there. But we also did end it though, so we'll say that was a fair trade right there. But yeah, I mean the Cavs right there. They've gone, I think, 3-2 in their last 5 games. Just beat the Bulls last night, 115-92. They take on the Timberwolves tomorrow at 8 p.m. I believe that's going to be on, Bally Sports. Yep. That's just so weird. I really haven't gotten adjusted to the change of Fox Sports to Bally Sports and all that.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird though, but. That just shows that the little amount of NBA and MLB that I watch, over the last year. Looking
it's a
at
different team though, for sure. And
I
Cavs
can tell.
has a fire under them this year. They still don't have their best player. Colin Sexton's out for the year. Darius Garland's turning into an all-star caliber player.
And think about it. It's sooner or later that the young team like that's going to be able to, really find their groove and all that. It's good to find a groove early in the season, but obviously it depends on, if you're hot at the right time and all that. But if they're hot right now and they're able to, really get into a nice groove and everything and be comfortable with each other as a team, then good things are going to be on the way, and they'll be playing the playoffs in March or April. But come April. But looking at the conference from top to bottom, we'll start up here. Brooklyn Nets, the 1 seed right now, 17-8. Don't really take a whole big look into the seeds right now. Obviously, with it being, basically the start of December and all that stuff. But still we gotta judge teams like that. So Nets the 1. The Bulls have had a very good start to the season. The Balzac, DeRozan, Zach LaVine, it's the NBA memes type of thing right there. Yep. 17-9. They've been playing some, really electric basketball right there. The defending champion Milwaukee Bucks are at 16-10. They are the 3 seed right now. We'll dive into some stats in a little bit. The Miami Heat at the 4 at 15-11. The Washington Wizards at the 5, 15-11 as well. Kyle Kuzma out there doing his thing. And then the 6 seed 76ers at 14-11 overall. They actually have a fun fact, 9-6 away record compared to a 5-5 home record. And then looking at the group of 4 down here, the Cavaliers, a 7 seed at 14-12. The Hawks, off to a 500 start right now. They are the 8 seed at 13-12, and the 9 seeded Charlotte Hornets, led by LaMelo Ball, 14-13, and then the 10 seeded Boston Celtics, who have gone off to a slow start. They are 13-13, 10 seed, and then looking at the bottom picture of it right there, the New York Knicks, Toronto Raptors, Pacers, Magic, and the the Magic and the Pistons. Wow. Surprise, not surprised though when it comes to record wise. Wow.
No,
I just saw all these double digit wins and I just see half of that. I'm like, wow, that's
wait till you go to the next conference.
Oh boy. Well, here we go. Next conference though. My Warriors are 21-4. This gives me good vibes back when I was in middle school, when I was everybody was a hype beast Curry kid and all that stuff. So that's beyond my time.
Bad day,
man. Yes, it was. Yes, and then the Phoenix Suns. So the Golden State Warriors 21-4. Phoenix Suns are 20-4. They're the 2 seed. Utah Jazz 17-7. They're having a nice start to the season. At the 3 seed, the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant 14-11 to start the season. They're the 4 seed. The Clippers and Lakers, respectively, 14-12 and 13-12 are your 5 and 6 seeds overall. They're getting into their new home. Not new home, you know what I mean? New sponsor, Crypto. Come on, the Crypto.com Center. Like it doesn't sit right. Taking off the Staples Center right there. I'm almost made a grown man cry, but that's just not that's just gonna feel a little different. Our good friend Noah Eagle is the play-by-play announcer on the radio for the Clippers, so we'll have him on here in the next month or so. Looking at the 7, 8, 9, and 10 lines, the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic. They are 12-12, 500. He's got to shed some of the pounds, but hey, he's still Luka. The 8-seeded Denver Nuggets are 12-12 as well at that 500 line. The 9-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves, 11-14, as well as the 10-seeded Sacramento Kings at 11-14. And then look at the bottom part right there. The Trailblazers been struggling, 11-15. San Antonio Spurs 8-15. The Rockets 8-16. Oklahoma City at 8-16. And New Orleans being squashed by Zion, 7-20. That was messed up, though. I mean, the reports of 330 pounds, man. Geez, 6'7", 330. He's literally a walking left tackle right now. That's unbelievable. I can't remember the last time I saw that guy play a basketball game.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. Honestly, I kind of want to look that up right now. When was the last game that he actually played in? But yeah, it's been a rough start for New Orleans down there. We'll get into some stats in just a moment. Yeah, I will get on that another time.
During Christmas break, we should do some type of basketball thing, Springfield and stuff, like a turkey bowl. The Christmas finals.
That's actually a good idea, because we could get in our high school to do that. We probably could. I would like to do that. We could get our had our turkey bowl thing, and then we could do that, and we might be able to do something Christmas related for football as well, indoors at Wittenberg. So we'll see what can go on there. But yeah, that would be fun though. Obviously you coming back down to Springfield and all that stuff. Remember that in the summertime and all that. We barely knew each other. And look at us now. Jeez.
For sure. Hey, paper said it all. That paper, everything in Pro. Listen
yes, right now. Yes.
Thanks for the 97. Thanks for
Yes.
the 97.
I will say this man Jake wrote a paper for one of his classes. That was, and I'm not trying to be biased or anything like that. That was a paper that was well put right there. I will say, got him a 97 right there. I take no credit for that. He put all that work in right there on that paper. That was, I think me and Brady both appreciate that and all that. The paper and all that. Really well put in our thoughts and, our motives on what we want to do with the show, how we want to go moving forward and all that. It means a lot.
I have the hard copy. We got the hard copy.
Well, go on ahead and read an excerpt of it, man. Who cares? We got time on this thing.
Got the hard copy. I ever comment.
I'm not getting paid. Huh?
So let's guess. Where's it came out? 97.
I want to read like that, like the grade parts of it. 25 out of 25, 14 out of. I'm just kidding. We could add it in.
So
we have more time.
She wants me to move over to a convergent media as a major minor, media practica, to help brand the whole thing. So I am a marketing major here at Bluffton with the communications minor. So you're gonna do that minor with the focus of convergent media, which is like podcasts, promoting social media, stuff like that. And here, let me read some more stuff.
Well, that's exactly what we need. That's, I'm not gonna lie. That's exactly what we need.
Here. I'll read this about the barriers we have to go through. I had to read a book on this. There are a decent amount of barriers we'll have to go through to get this done, though. I feel that personally I have the right equipment for the job, as I built my own PC and have the right cameras and mic to make it big time, but I couldn't say that for everyone in the group. Brady, sorry, Dad. Just say the truth.
Oh, man.
We need to get higher quality equipment to be able to pitch our show to an investor and a sponsor, which I feel like that'd be a great goal of ours.
Yes,
the hardest thing in this industry is getting attention from the people who matter the most. Yes, it is unlikely that it ever happened, but it'd be a dream of mine in our group to get our show pitched to ESPN and just have it on the station. But I do believe we could pitch our show and land some type of sponsorship in the future. So I feel the biggest barrier standing in our way at the moment is getting connections to the right people who can get us to the next step of our show. And then I had a little shout out for Chase. I am probably not the one that would help us out the most in making this next step. I know Chase is a super hard worker and this is his dream, so I believe he's going to try to make it the best he can. I would be right there to help him out with trying to pitch different companies and try to make a brand out of it. I do want to take different type of marketing and graphic design classes to help with the graphics for the show and my future in marketing. I've learned a lot about myself through this whole experience of being on the show. I had to step out of my comfort zone and make videos and speak my opinion on the internet, which I probably would have never done if I didn't take this opportunity Chase gave me. Even though I'm not the so-called leader of this group, I do believe that it brings out my leadership abilities by making me go outside the box and giving different ideas and doing my research before we stream. So I know what I'm talking about. I do think myself as a leader, and as I grow here at Bluffton, I hope that others will also see me as a leader and a positive impact on our campus.
That was good, Jim. I appreciate it.
Yeah, she brought back up. That's part of the Convergent Media program. Marketing will help you make better content, which, I don't know. I feel like that would be my dream to have an ESPN talk show, but I feel like that's kind of a reach.
See,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I appreciate everything that was said right there. And the thing was we can just I can just talk about this. So I'm gonna tell you a funny story, all right? So how this idea started, thanks, Dre, right there. Thank you. Yeah, Chase. Okay, yeah. But how this thing started, I was injured, all right. I was injured last year, senior year. I sat out the whole month of January. Brady was on the JV. He was sitting on the bench, dressing varsity and all that. And we were just over there kind of talking and stuff like that throughout the games. And, we're talking all this sports stuff because I talked to him a little bit before, but then we had all this time to just talk about stuff. We were talking about football, talking about basketball, a bunch of other stuff like that. We did a couple of live streams on Instagram and all that. And we were like, yo, we really should start a podcast. This would be the perfect thing to do. Just see what happens with it. Yeah. And, we started this thing, and then we just we kept talking about sports in our third episode, and we had Noah Eagle on the show. And that was like the first time where I think, personally, I realized I was like, hey, like you're literally like one person away or one connection away
Just
from,
one person of seeing
yeah,
it,
from
enjoying it.
seeing it. You're from seeing it, enjoying it, and from having that first episode, I believe I had over 100 people like that first night listen to the show and all that stuff and tune in and listen and all that. And that really brought motivation for myself to try to make this thing grow, start the Instagram page, promote everything on Snapchat, have links posted here, there, and everywhere. Thanks, Juke, right there. Cut to the chase, baby. That's how it is. But yeah, it really shed some light right there to really just try to build this thing and keep growing. And then once we got to July or so, we were a little inconsistent on episodes, like producing episodes, because obviously we were busy. We were in high school. We got other stuff that we have going on, schoolwork, sports, and all that. But once we got to July, we decided to take a break and all that. And obviously Jake came along, even in that weekend or that entire week that we met and all that, we had a lot of time to ourselves, and we were just, talking about sports, talking about, trying to get to know each other and stuff like that. And overall, it was just like, it just felt easy and stuff like that. I was like, hey, this is the next step we need to take, and add another person who, brings a different element to this, brings a different element to the crew and all that stuff. And, we've been able to connect with people and stuff like that. Obviously, with us being in college and Brady being in high school, like, we've been busy and all that. But trust me, the best work of us, for this show is, it's coming. It has yet to be shown.
Oh, for sure.
We're about to get there. All right. I'm telling you that we have big goals for this show. I'm not trying to be that guy who's like, oh, we're definitely going to be on ESPN. Oh, we're definitely going to be, CBS Sports and all that stuff. But hey, just enjoy the ride. We're going to, we have fun. We have fun talking about sports and all that. That's what everybody else on TV is doing right now. Like the kickoff show I'm watching right now on Thursday Night Football. They're talking about, football, for instance. We're just having fun talking about football, and then we'll gear into basketball and stuff like that, just seasonal stuff. But we have a mission behind the show to to deliver sports and all that stuff to and people. And I think if the people that we know, if they're seeing us talk about this, they're encouraged to start a podcast. I've had a couple of people that have come to me and stuff and say, hey, I kind of want to start a podcast as well. Like, what are your like thoughts and advice and all that stuff? And that means a lot. That means a lot for someone to come up to me and say, hey, you've got a really nice show and all that stuff, and it's really inspired me to start a podcast. It's not hard to start a podcast. You can start doing stuff for free and all that. That's how we started on Anchor FM. Then geared to YouTube and on StreamYard and all that. So it's really not that hard of a transition to go for. And just know that if you're doing this podcast, just don't half-ass it. Like, don't half-ass it for real. It's take it with pride. It's not don't take it like as a job that you're getting paid for and all that stuff, but just treat yourself with professionalism. And who knows? This could go somewhere. This show, any show that you guys decide to start, it could go somewhere. Just have that professionalism, put all your mind, put everything into it, and it could go many places. And that's just what we're trying to do. We're just a couple guys just trying to have some fun with sports and see where this thing goes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, I guess the main point out of that for you saying, hey, we're just freshmen in college.
Yeah.
We come on here twice a week. So, like, you might as well try. We have another 4 years until we're actually adults.
Mm-hmm.
And if that time comes and things aren't looking perfect for the show, I mean, maybe it'll be time. But, I mean, it's always something you can always come back to. You can always sit down every Tuesday and Thursday and do it for the next 30 years. And all it takes is just one person to like it and that knows somebody in the industry.
Yep.
And I've always said, like we have a class here at Bluffton called Becoming a Scholar, the freshman class, which would make you think like it's a study class, but no, it's like a class that makes you like go back and dive deep. That's like a part I really like this class here. Dive deep into like your history and stuff like that. And you have to talk about things that you don't usually want to talk about. And you go down to have to dig so deep into yourself that you really do find like what makes you happy, stuff like that. If you would have talked to me 6 months ago, I would have never been like, oh no, I don't want to be on a podcast. I don't want my face, my opinion being out there. No. But now, since I've met you guys when we met in spring for the first time at Witt playing disc golf, I feel like we just had that instant click and stuff. And then I
Yeah.
remember I came back down for the fantasy football, and we were talking about like your
Yep.
podcast. And I was like, well, what would I have to do to be on it? Like, you're like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, why not? It sounds
Yeah.
fun. I without that experience of me, like even like reaching out, going to stay with Evan, that did something I would have never done a year ago, and just stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that maybe it wouldn't work, maybe it didn't work, maybe I would have done one episode and I not liked it, and I would just told you, been honest with you, I just didn't like it. But I found something that I do genuinely enjoy doing twice a week, and it relieves me, like the stress relief from school and stuff like that, to get out there and talk about your emotions. I get we're like stepping away from like the sports sphere right now, but I mean just hearing stuff like that from other people, like same thing with you. I hear when I had to give a presentation about like my life in college so far, this was a part of my presentation was the podcast, and I've had people like on their reflection notes ask like, oh, what, like, why did you think this was a good idea to start with, or like, how can you get this started and stuff like that, just asking me. And it's just the same way as you. It just feels like, I mean, we're streaming just for me and you to have a good time, obviously, but we want to make something out of this and keep pushing. Because I do think that I know you especially can make it really big in this industry. I mean,
Appreciate that.
for sure. And if I can do anything that help you get there, so.
And that's the thing. Like, this is, obviously the name is, is Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast, but obviously it's not just me. I have yourself. I have Brady in this, and however else we can grow in this, and try to get our name in this industry and all that. That is, that's a big thing. And kind of what I wanted to go off of is this, like, how you were talking about, like, if you're like making a video or something like that, you didn't have the confidence or, shy and stuff like that, doing that stuff. And now you feel more comfortable making that stuff. And that also is a big thing when it comes to, reaching out and connecting with different people and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to connect with people. Connections are a huge thing in life. And that's honestly probably one of the top few things up there. Like, and I was told that by a couple people, like, you can never have too many connections. You never can.
For sure.
And that's, especially when you're an adult, like there's connections for people. If you want to go, if you want to, go into, if you have someone in the industry of like banking, if you have the industry of, like financial stuff, same thing right there. But, just industry and connections overall, those are huge. And those go such a long way. People don't really realize it, but I'll even say this, even while in college and stuff like that, I've met so many people, and obviously, like, my teammates and all that stuff. And I've learned a lot of different things about my teammates, different backgrounds and all that, different people that they know. And, it really has opened a door, talking to those guys. And, a couple of them are watching right now and everything. But, like, I appreciate those guys. I really do. Like, they have become a big part of my life right now and all that. Even though, I'm home like every other day. I'm gonna be real, but I do see those guys every day, interact with them every day, and all that stuff. And yep. What'd you say?
Exactly.
What'd you say?
I did not.
Man, that's too much. Nope, not happening. But yeah, that's not
We'll
happening.
see. Now we'll see.
That's just gonna be an argument we're gonna have the entire time that we do this show. Whatever.
We'll see.
But man, until we go up there January 12th. That's different.
Hey, I know more about you, Chase, than you think. Trust me.
You don't know more about me than I know about myself. That's gonna be the big thing right there. You don't know what I'm thinking right now.
Hey, just know. It wouldn't shock me if we see you in purple next year.
Okay, you're going way too far right there. There's another team in purple though that's on the screen. This is a good segue to do it. Steelers Vikings. All right, starts in 10 minutes. Who do we got in this game?
Vikings. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I know you were getting on your thing. I'm trying to segue out of this thing because I kind of wanted to talk about this game, but
Probably Vikings coming off the
okay.
loss to the Lions have to prove something. So.
I know that I'm not an NFL analyst right now or anything like that. Whoever knows if I will be, but the Steelers coming off a big win right now. Again, came off a big win against the Ravens. It was the decision of John Harbaugh to go for 2. They were literally a fingertip away from walking into the end zone and getting out of Pittsburgh with a win. But my analysis is I think the Vikings are going to get it done really close, really close. I know Dre is going to be really disappointed for saying that. He says big dubs on the way in the chat. But I think Justin Jefferson is going to get things going, but I do think the Steelers are going to try to cloud him in coverage, especially with Adam Thielen out. Dalvin Cook is back in the lineup. They have some depth in the backfield of Alexander Madison as well, but also the guy I'm looking at on screen, Najee Harris, I think will have a pretty nice night as well. It's all going to depend on Ben, though. If Ben plays the efficient way he did on Sunday, then Pittsburgh's gonna have a real good chance of winning right there. But if Ben, gets pressured and all that, and then the Vikings secondary is able to feast and give Kirk Cousins good field position, and I think the Vikings are going to walk away with this one. So I'm going to go Vikings. I'm going to say give me 23-20. Basic score, 23-20. It'll be a really good game right down to the wire and all that. So, yeah, that's the purple team I'm talking about. We're not talking about your purple team for a while. All right? This is a perfect time to end the episode right now.
We'll see.
We're good. Oh, my God, dude. This is a really good time to end the episode right now. We'll talk Tuesday. You'll be back on Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday. I think me and Brady will be doing an episode on Saturday. We'll have the whole crew back next Tuesday and Thursday. Just talking, NFL previews and, some college bowl game expectations, as well as a little more NBA than what we got through tonight. But I am Chase Johnson, Jake Shaver on the other line, Bluffton, Ohio. Okay. Steelers 30-17 market. I'll take a picture of that. Last longer. But yes, we'll be back at it on Saturday. We'll see you, Jake, on Tuesday. And thanks for everybody tuning in tonight.